Hi Capricorn, this is your April 2019 reading. Capricorn, as we have been talking about in the last couple of months, on 21st of January 2020, we will have Saturn and Pluto come together at 22 degree Capricorn in your sign for the first time ever. The last time this happened was in 1518 when Protestant Revolution began and churches were divided. So we are looking at a completely new world order which is about to start with these two planets coming together in your sign, which rules large corporation, which rules power structure of the world, which rules the administrative structure, the very social fabric in which we operate. So with change of rules in 2020, 2019 becomes a time when we are purging the old, when the dysfunction in the society is coming out in the open, and then we start creating a new reality. And you will experience this very up close and personal during the course of 2019, starting specifically from middle of March all the way to 12th of January 2020. We are starting a new cycle of ending the old dysfunction, removing the restrictions that have been holding your power down. Because Pluto comes in our soul, it comes in our sign when our soul is ready for the next level of evolution, when we are ready to go to the next level of growth, which we have never seen before. But our own limitations, our own upbringing, our own emotional patterns and behaviors, they disempower us from moving forward. So first thing that it does is that it brings out the powerlessness. It wants us to show us where the dysfunction is, and then it purges it irrevocably. It removes those hindrances irrevocably. It gives us the impetus to discard and give away what is old, what is outdated, what is clutter in your path, what is obscuring your power and your ability to achieve your highest ideals, dreams and inspirations. Who and what are you giving your power away to? That is the theme this month in April, and this is the month when we remove those hindrances and we start creating very new, completely solid foundation of our new life. Pluto will affect the larger environment. We will see that in the governance system. We'll see that in terms of abuse of power, status control, dominance over the resources by a few coming out in the open. How the administration, the powerful, the rich, the famous, the industrials, they have been misusing their power and resources. All of that will come out. But in our personal life, how are we using the resources, the God-gifted or the highest gift that we have been given by the creation? How are we using our resources to the best of the society? That will be a key theme. You will feel almost an obsession to deliver something to the world. This is a call to participation, and you are in the forefront of it all because yours is the sign which is most impacted by this, and it has never ever happened before. This will redefine what your sign, what your zodiac, what your whole persona stands for, because it will affect your whole personality. You are going through a rebirth process, and the first step of that is realization of the gaps and us removing them. So the overview of this month, I will ask you to do one thing: be flexible. Be flexible this month and release the things that are going away from your life. Release the limitations this month. Release and realize that there is something within you which is ready to go forward in the way you have never seen before. Pluto will deconstruct our whole identity. It wants us to remove the ego from the game so it can show us the true power, the more authentic power, the positions, the dreams that we have been always wishing for. They are about to come to fruition. But for that to happen, a little bit of control needs to be given up so the old identity can be removed, so the dysfunction can be removed. The inner conviction, the inner strength that you feel within yourself, the strong desire for change, the feeling that change is overdue to some extent, that is real. That is where we stand right now. The intensity that you're feeling inside, that is where you stand right now, because you're on the helm of becoming way more powerful and successful than you've ever seen before. We are looking to go deeper into life. We are looking to have more power, more control over what you do. But the first step of that is to release the clutter, release the layer of gunk that has been moving on, that has been created over time, which has been undermining you. This is the soul which is covered in fear and self-doubt and thoughts of lack that we need to give away. The people who are sucking your power and letting you believe that you owe your life to them, and hence you've been working towards making things cordial for others, becoming the one-man army who tries to do everything. And that is the karma. That is the karma of Capricorn. Working hard is the karma of the mountain goat, the Capricorn. But at the same time, at what cost? At what cost? Because you want to create these new rules, these new boundaries, new physical structure that justify you. They're based on truth. They're based on what Pluto is uncovering right now. So it will give you the determination, the ambition, the pattern required to structure a new reality going forward. And this is not pure up in the air. You're creating concrete structures moving forward. Pluto and Saturn this month in April are in close proximity to each other. They are very, very close this month. This is the first time in your sign that they have come 2 or 3 degrees close to each other. This is the time when we start the process of creating our new reality. We are moving towards incorporating a completely new identity in the next couple of months. All the way to your season in January will be dedicated to incorporate this new identity into every part of your life. As the sun will move, Pluto and Saturn will incorporate the new rules you're creating of your life into every aspect of your life. Whether it's your job, it's your home, it's your family, it's the way you handle your kids, it's the way you handle your business, all of it, your external persona and your internal feeling about yourself, all of that is about to go for an overhaul. And hence this month will feel like somebody is churning your insides, because that is what is happening. We are churning our insides because we want to become somebody else. We want our identity to be changed to somebody who has an outer reality which matches the inner ambition that you're feeling. You want to transform your reality today. And that is where we stand today. And I waited so long to do your reading because I needed to be in the right mindset to be able to deliver the powerful messaging April has for you. It is the start of a very, very important cycle, and I want you to not get lost in the noise this month, because there will be a lot of noise. A lot of people will not like who you're becoming. There will be power struggles. Keep your ego, the unhealthy ego that sometimes comes in the picture, because you are becoming visible. There will be people who will point out issues. There will be people who will be your well-wishers who will point out issues as well. But you have to have a rebirth of personality here. You have to have a rebirth of a new identity here. Pluto is making you almost, as I said, within your soul, obsessed to deliver something that you came here to do. It asks you to believe in yourself. Believe in what you came here to deliver. Believe that you have a purpose in life. Believe that purpose is the most important thing in life right now, and go after it. And you will see that the world order that gets created next year onwards has Capricorn at their lead. The new cycle, the 34-year cycle that Saturn and Pluto are going to set in stone, the leaders that will be, they will be your zodiac leaders. And that is what we are working towards. We are working towards becoming a leader who understands their assets, who has belief in their vision, who would not allow crap in their life, to put it politely. So this is what we are working with. I'll speak in detail about how on a physical level this means for you, because this depends on which year you're born as well, because every generation of Capricorn, specifically if you have Capricorn between 20 to 24 degree, which means you're born between 10 to 14th of January, this is a core shaker for you. This is a core shaker. An entire lifetime is being put in a completely different sphere here. And the conjunction is happening at 22 degree in January. So I'll speak about each year in detail and go over each of the years and see how it would affect you. You could refer back to the timestamps in the comments to come back to the specific section of the reading. Then we'll go into the rest of the month. This is the month which has both the new moon and full moon, which is affecting your core areas. We are starting a completely new cycle in your home and family at the start of the month, and at the end of the month, again, a second full moon in your house of career. We had one last month as well, towards end of March. We have another one at the end of April in your career. Your leadership style, which direction you want to go, is it in line with your vision of your life? Is it in line with the power that you feel within yourself to deliver something to the world? All of that is coming to light right now. And we are on the verge of becoming somebody else right now. And we are in the process of becoming very, very powerful, very, very authentic in our path. And I'm really honored to be part of your journey. This is an honor to do this video. Let's dig into the detail of things now. Let's go into the first key aspect, which is Pluto coming together with Saturn in close proximity, but more importantly, Pluto meeting Ketu on 5th of April and Saturn meeting Ketu on 30th of this month. These are two trigger dates because that is the date when we have the elements, the base elements of these two planets getting emphasized, which means that their lesson needs to be incorporated into our physical existence during the course of April, and then these two planets will start moving retrograde, which means they will go in a direction different from the usual, which means their external influences, the external transformation will have to pause a little bit for the next couple of months for us to incorporate the things that Pluto and Saturn are bringing out this month. First thing that Pluto brings up is information. It will go towards the depth of the things. It will go and unlock the things that we do not sometimes want to face. It will bring out the things, the emotions, the secrets coming out, the things below the surface that are not good for you, which are patterns in your leadership style, which are patterns in the way you interact with your surroundings, which are patterns in the way you exhibit your power to the external people. That will come out in the open, and the gaps of that will be highlighted to you. We're seeing that in the news. The seedy underbelly of the society, the things that we accept as okay, as operational, but they are not. The things that we accept as norm in our life, but they are not. Where our power is being repressed. And the history of all of it, the past comes up for recognition. The past comes up for reckoning. If in the past we have been giving our power away to somebody in authority, somebody who could be an authority in our family life or authority at our work, especially if you're a Capricorn sun, the authority issues will be key that will come out for you. If you're a Capricorn moon, the emotional hindrances, specifically with women in your life, that will come out in the open. Because Pluto does not want to fear anymore. It does not want you to have fear in your psyche anymore. Even if you need to get mad at those things, that is fine. But we cannot feel powerless in them anymore. Pluto cannot live on the surface. So everything for you has to have its depth. The ambition that you have right now, the path that you have for your life, it has to have depth. Nothing can come in your way of evolution. So what happens this month is, knowingly or unknowingly, you will start removing things in your life which are standing in your way of your evolution. Because Pluto shows up when our soul is ready to evolve to the next level of growth, but we face limitations. And what we do when we have Pluto in our own sign? We remove those limitations. So nothing is happening to you. I hate when astrologers say, oh, Saturn is happening to you, Pluto is happening to you. Nothing is happening to you. You are happening to everything. You are removing things to make room for a new possibility for you. You are creating your future growth. You have this raw drive within yourself, and you can feel it when you block that drive. It shows up in the form of physical pain. It shows up in form of diseases of nature that you don't understand why they exist. When our inner drive, when our inner being is ready to evolve, our soul is ready to evolve to the next level of power and growth, and we block it, it shows up physically in form of physical discomfort. So when South Node comes, South Node is like a puncher. It's like a puncher. Like if you've done acupuncture ever in your life, what acupuncture does is that it sort of pricks a needle where the pressure is. It pricks the needle where we're trying to control too much of how we speak, how we express ourselves, how we come across to the audience, how we are being polite with everybody. It pricks the needle there and it releases the pressure so your life force can flow easily in your body. This is acupuncture. South Node this month is acupuncture of our soul. It is taking away the blockages in our path because of which we are not able to express ourselves as powerfully as we want to our immediate environment, to the people who we interact with, to the leaders and authority figures in our life. The Empress is to discard a behavioral pattern which is clearly dysfunctional in your life. You're here to destroy a paradigm in your life, and it cannot happen if you do not believe in your core about yourself. More importantly, you have to believe that you're here to destroy a paradigm, because Pluto in your first house is about setting a new paradigm. You have to let yourself be as powerful as this aspect wants you to become. So there is a release of control to some extent which needs to happen as a result of that. If you're controlling your success, if you're controlling what you speak in a meeting, if you're controlling too much in how you come across, you're holding your ideas back, that needs to be released. That needs to be let go. So some sort of surrendering is required to the situation here. And the surrendering is not about to a person, the surrendering is to a situation. Surrendering to a situation, when you find a situation which is shown up to you, it's almost like being away from your body. I'm telling you, when these two are together, you will be put in situations where lack of power is shown, where you're giving your power away. There will be old incidences, maybe in the past, in your previous job this happened. There will be circumstances that happened in your previous job, in your previous role, in your previous way of functioning, in your career, which will show up again for you to reckon with and realize very clearly why that pattern is happening in your life. Because there are layers of behavior that need to be given up. And you will recognize without any doubt what is happening. And then you take the actions, the very powerful actions. Saturn will act on the information that Pluto will reveal at the start of the month. You will feel very powerful within your soul to not continue that behavior pattern anymore. It will give you the raw drive required to go ahead and destroy the paradigm. A set way of being, a set hierarchy has to be destroyed. A pattern of communication, of coming across, of how you come across to the people at work, in your profession, in your career, has to come across for you to become somebody else. The inner conviction and the inner strength, it's time to reach for what you want. That is what your inner conviction and inner strength is going to tell you. It's time to reach for what you most want. In terms of your highest ambition, it is not the time to curb your ambition. Sometimes when powerlessness is shown to us, we accept that as part of our path, that maybe we are not supposed to become somebody bigger than who we are right now. But that is just the opposite. You will not be able to sit still. This is like an obsession to deliver to the world what you came here to deliver. You will not be able to be content in your current situation because you are being asked to break a paradigm. You're being asked, you've been given this inner power within yourself. This is nuclear in nature within your heart, that you're feeling that you need to break out of the paradigm. You have to break out of a behavior pattern. You have to give up the powerlessness. It will get emphasized to you because you have to outgrow that. So strong desire for change and the feeling that change is overdue and you have to cause it will come through this month. The self initiative will be very high this month. This is a cardinal month. This is not like last month when we spoke about that it was a mutable month. It was a time to change our approach. This is the time to break through the pattern and take a step. Taking a step beyond your current comfort zone. Taking a step where you are a pioneer in your life. Taking a step of confidence beyond your current situation. We are looking to go into a more meaningful life. So the past comes up because you have to handle handle a current situation different from the past. Have the power to control who or what you're becoming, and you have the power to control who or what you're becoming. More importantly, you have the power to control who or what you're presenting yourself as. And I can tell you the first step of this is to present yourself differently. The first step of itself is a very powerful personal statement that we make. So when Pluto is in our sign, the first thing that happens is our physical persona, our body language, the way we present ourselves in a social situation, the way we present ourselves to our team, to our leaders, to our authority figures, the way we dress up, the way we look. And I don't mean to be small about these things, but that is the first thing to change. I don't want to be vain about it, but it is the first thing to change. Newfound personal power shows up physically. And I can tell you, dress for the part you want to become, right? They say that, and it's true. You will find ambition, you will find the determination to go higher, but the first thing that will change in you is the physical appearance and the demeanor. The air of power and to some extent sexuality is you. And Pluto rules your 11th house, your social presence, the people who you interact with, the power that you have over the people you interact with. So the social atmosphere changes for you. You change the people who you network with, because we become our company to some extent. So you interact with people who you want to become to some extent, or whose path you want to follow. So the surrounding, the social network that you interact with, your affiliations, your people, your tribe will change as a result of that. And you start getting the conviction to interact with people who are beyond your current social standing to some extent, or the people, the business network who you want to become the part of. Nothing will come in your way of your evolution. You have to believe if there is something this month you want, you just have to think it and go for it. Pluto in first came, it was in the birth chart of Copernicus, the father of astronomy. He established a new paradigm. People believe that sun used to go around the earth, that sun revolved around the earth. That was the whole era's view. He broke that paradigm to establish that earth revolved around the sun. That is the aspect you are experiencing right now. A complete shift in your vision and focus of your life is in order. And you have the enormous willpower and the discipline to make it happen right now. Baba Ramdas, I don't know how many of you know it. Baba Ramdas was a Harvard professor previously, right? The complete shift because of the inner vision he felt within itself. That is Pluto in first. He has Pluto in first. These are the people, the personality who have it from the birth chart, and you are being gifted that personality by transit right now. You are being gifted that kind of willpower, that kind of discipline, that kind of brilliance through transit right now. So do not stop your drive. Let the ambition flow through you. Let the ambition drive you to the places where your psyche stops you from going. Reach out for what you most want. The strong desire that is leading you to a place which is different from your comfort zone right now is the place you need to go to. And it will show up in different ways, especially if you're a 1971 to 1983 born, the Pluto in Libra generation. They are experiencing this in a very visible way. You'll come out in the news, you'll come out in whichever corporation you're part of, you'll become more visible in that corporation. You'll come up to a position in which you're asked to perform, because your natal chart wants you to deliver a visible destiny. In hierarchy, in terms of the title that you have, in terms of your contribution to a corporation as a leader. But at the same time, most of you, not just the 1971 to 1983, the lessons of Ketu is to use your power in an elevated manner. Create a detachment from this so it does not become our ego. Elevate the power structure from the current despair we are in right now, which means that you have to operate at a higher plane of power. I'll give you an example which many of you may not like. Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, some for professional reason, for personal reason, like it or hate it, he is a 22-degree Capricorn. That is where all the action will happen in January. The new cycle begins at 22-degree Capricorn. 12th of January, born Capricorn. And all the way 10th to 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, you'll feel Pluto visiting you, the power visiting you, the reality of purpose visiting you right now. And it will require you to give up anything that is of low value in your life, that will hurt you in longer period of time. The issues hidden below the surface that will hurt you as you become more visible in your career, they will come up, so you can get rid of that. In his case, it was abuse of power to some extent. But see his journey, see the journey of Amazon. 2008 is when Pluto entered Capricorn. That is the journey of Amazon becoming stronger. 2015, when Pluto was on his was close to started becoming more closer to his ascendant, that's when Amazon became profitable. Kindle was launched around the time Pluto entered Capricorn. We are looking at a corporation which has become, he's the billionaire club, the 100 billion club. He's it, along with Microsoft now, but yeah, he is it. This is him contributing in a very visible way to the society. 22-degree Capricorn enhances that power. It creates a structure which is of responsibility on that power that has been given. So Saturn will start acting, which means that we'll be asked to use this power responsibly and not just get into an ego game right now. It wants us to create solid foundations of our career, and not just which is based on adrenal right now. So at the end of the month, when Saturn starts acting, we will be questioned. In fact, from the middle of the month, you will start feeling that your foundations are being questioned for stability. And that is an easy test for a sign like you, which is ruled by discipline. So you will be coming up stronger than any of the signs, but nevertheless, so there will be people in authority who will point out the issues in your foundation. There will be people who are senior than you who will point out maybe this doesn't work. There will be authority figures in your family who will highlight, because when we are becoming powerful, everybody will comment. Comments and feedback will come, but you are being asked to release the ego structure here and accept what's coming, because you're creating a very new foundation right now. It doesn't mean giving your power away, but if there's a person of experience telling you, mentoring you how to grow, accept that feedback without getting into ego struggles this month. Surrender a little bit. Let go a pattern of yourself which you know is not serving you well. Take inputs that are coming from the right sources this month. Then if you are a 1956 to 1971 born, which is Jeff Bezos' generation, by the way, you are here to deliver a call to purpose. This could be in form of publication. This has mass impact. This is not about a corporation. This has mass impact. Michelle Obama, changing the career, changing the track, becoming the best-selling memoir writer, author, becoming an author. Jim Carrey, from an actor to political cartoonist, becoming more involved in the society, in the politics of the society. This is different from 1971 to 1983. So 1971 to 1983 is business. It's about the title in a corporation. It's about becoming more powerful within an administrative structure. 1956 to 1971 is call to adventure. It's publishing. It's about doing something that you feel is your karma, is your higher purpose. It's your contribution to the society. So it has a much different meaning. 1956 to 1971. 1983 to 1995, my millennials, this is about becoming famous. It is an impact, yes, but a social impact. This is becoming like having a fan group which is crazy about you. This is Ariana Grande becoming breaking the Spotify record of highest number of plays in March. This is the generation of the millennials becoming more popular. Zayn Malik. This is stardom. 1983, 1995 born. 1939, 1956 born. This is about depth. This is about finding your contribution in form of occult, in form of things that people do not believe in right now, including astrology. Contributing something which is hidden art and bringing that into main profession into life. Things that are below the surface that people don't believe in, people don't have conviction in right now, bringing that out. This is underground things, bringing them out in the open. Oil industry, financial industry. So this is about you transforming a very different art into a money-making machine going forward. 1939 to 1956-57 born. You can go a little bit earlier. 1920s born is Elizabeth II, so a Queen of England, 92-year royal. She's very much in the thick of it. She has 21-degree Capricorn in her chart as a ascendant, as the rising sign. She gave up her driving license since first time since 1945, since the World War II. She has been driving. She gave up that because she thought it was not right anymore. Giving up a responsibility, a thing that we are putting on ourselves, which is not in line with who we want to be anymore. Just taking it to a next level. This will involve a shift in direction to some extent. Because Saturn here will help you create a new reality. The response here, you are culling out the problem and creating the solution. The next kind of growth you want. After you've realized what is not functioning, what is not good for you, what is the new image you want to create. Defining your own brand of power. And then throughout the next couple of months, Sun will move through different areas of your life, and this new identity will become the very part, the very fabric of your existence. So the power structures that are getting activated, they will get ingrained in it. Bono, U2, moving away from singing to impact investing. 1960 born. Making an impact on the society. Finding the higher purpose and making an impact. That is 1956 to 1971 generation. I can go on. There are so many Capricorns right now in the news. Steve Harvey, he's going away from television. Television made him who he is right now, or he made television, I don't know which, but he's going away from television and doing something else, going vegan, doing something which is of social impact, moving away from TV into company investments. Steve Harvey is 1957 born, again Pluto in Virgo generation, 1956 to 1971, who want to have an impact on the society, who are finding their higher purpose, which is different from previous. The negative side of it, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody who believes in him, Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner is a 20-degree Capricorn. The misuse of power, Jeff Bezos, the misuse of power of the existing power structure. So if you are in a leadership situation, you are asked to use your power in an elevated manner right now and create a environment where this despair, which at a society level we are seeing in terms of dilapidated power structure, misuse of power and resources by a few, you're asked to create more healing, more nourishment, an environment of where unique qualities of people can flourish. You're being asked to be a responsible leader right now. So this is my my analysis of what's happening. There's a giant ship which is being steered, because your old identity of last 28 years, which is for most of us is our lifetime, is changing and being liberated. The fear will be there because you're moving into an unidentified, unknown territory, but you are being freed from an old karma. You suddenly feel like a fog is being cleared, and you see as a clear day where you're going. And there is a courage to leave the past behind. The focus is very much on you and what you need in your soul for your growth. There is no space for peanut gallery. Stand up for your vision. This is being you asked to be responsible for your own gifts without the ego. You're moving there because of your own impetus, because you in your inner core, in your core vision, know that's where you want to go. So that's my overview. Let's dig into the rest of the month now. As we start the month, the sun is in Aries. It is a new season which has begun, and you'll feel it in your soul. It is a season of taking initiative. It is a season of impulses. It is a season of doing what is right for you. Most of the planets right now will be below the horizon, which means that the changes that are happening in your case are below the surface, but they will show up in your leadership style, because towards the end of March as well as towards end of April, we have 2 full moon in your house of career. So your career and the way you use this newfound security within yourself, this purge of an old fear, of old limitation that is happening within yourself, the purge of an old structure of career or a way of being in your career that is happening right now, it will show up visibly in your leadership style. But before we get there, we have a new moon that is happening in your house of home and family on 5th of April, which starts a new foundation of your inner world right now. This gives you a new ground to stand on. You're creating a more authentic family, home environment, and the ground rules for future in terms of your personal life to start with. What do you want versus what do you need? There will be a conflict between that. Are your foundations secure right now? Is your home and family the way you want it? Or are there any changes? This gives you the impetus to make the changes in your home life, in your family life, in your inner world, to be more careful, more caring for yourself, to take care of your needs. This is the time to take care of your needs. So saying your piece. And last month we had Mercury retrograde in your house of communication. So we have refined our communication strategy, the way we want to speak to our environment, the way we want to put our point across. And this is the month when you do that. You put your voice ahead. You speak up. In the situation that previously you may not have said anything, you speak up and you take care of yourself. You bring your ideas up both at work as well as home. But this new moon specifically is an impetus to infuse fresh energy into your home and family. It is the time to create certain small projects at home, whether it is in form of reforming your house in some way, decorating it in some way, taking actions in terms of buying a new place of living or looking at changing where you're living right now. Home and family and your secure place that you call your sanctuary, that has to be in line with your vision in life. If you're looking at becoming changing your career, if you're looking at changing the direction in your life, or maybe you're looking at giving up some part of your work and operate from home, the way you are in your home and family will change as a result of that. And this is the first area of your life which you start working on with Saturn Pluto contact that I spoke about. This is the first area of your life where you'll infuse this power that you feel within yourself to bring out the change in your home and family structure to start with. You need to create a support system that can support you in the growth that you're going through, the new phase of your life that you're going for. And this is the time when I feel you will go for the things, you will highlight the things to your partner, for example, in form of intimacy. If there's a gap in intimacy, if there's a gap in support system, you will highlight and get that. This is the time when you will take the initiative to highlight the things that are good for you in your home and family. This could also be the time when this may not be your partner, it could be your parents, it could be authority figure, especially male figure in your home, where these discussions and a new phase begins in your personal life. At 15-degree Aries, we will find ourselves in rapidly changing circumstances. You will need to reorient yourself and take some calculated risk. And you will persuade the people in your life to go along with it. It's not about you adjusting to somebody. This is not the season of adjustment. That is done with. The approach that we need to be mutable about happened last month. Now is the time to do what is right for you. Now is the time to act, and act with speed, with precision, with action, with leadership in your personal life. And you do exactly that. And it will not come without resistance. But when 5th of April we are having this new moon, it has no aspects to it. There is no fear, no pressure, no doubts in what you want to do. You will see very clearly what are the changes you want to begin, you want to bring in. And those changes will have success written all over it, provided you leave the fear, you give up the fear, you give up the need to do something that is right for others. Because Capricorn, you are a cardinal sign yourself. You take initiatives, but you a lot of time take the initiative for what is right for the team, what is right for everybody. This is not the time to take inputs of everybody. It is the time to do what you think is right for you. Aries season teaches us to take the road which is less traveled. Take a route, take an approach to your home and family that you have not taken before. You will become very keenly aware of your support system. Who are your supporters? What kind of family structure? What kind of time with your home and family? What kind of place of living will serve you well? And it is not about and I'm not advocating that we should leave our family for a career or anything. None of it. It is possible that you might actually engage into a new pattern where you can spend more time with your family. Maybe that is what comes out of it all, that what serves you better is to spend some time at home more than your career. So you create a new phase of being in your career and your home and family life, which serves you better, which is without external influences. It is not about what society is telling you. It is not about what I am telling you. It is not about what your partner is telling you. It is not about the peanut gallery anymore. It's about what fulfills you. So taking certain actions in your home and family which are right by you, and they could involve real estate investment, they could involve investing in a vehicle, in a fixed asset that you want for yourself. This last happened in October 2014. In October 2014, we had a lunar eclipse in exactly these degrees. So you can look back October 2014, what might have culminated in your life, and something new might happen in that very same area of your life. Looking at October 2014 to December 2014 might give you some idea. For example, this is Kate Middleton's sun. This is the degree of sun of Kate Middleton. And she became pregnant in 2014 around the eclipse which happened. That was a new start in her home and family life. That was a culmination of what she wanted in home and family life. But that was an eclipse. This is just a new moon. So dial it down a few degrees and see what you want to do in your life. This is happening at 15 degrees. So if you're born around 5th of January, this will deeply impact you. This will be something brand new in your home and family life, even from 12 to 18 degree. So if you're born between 2nd to 8th of January or the first 10 days of January, this is a brand new start in home and family for you. This could be a new place of living as well, a new home, a shift in the place of living, or redecoration of the home, renovation of the home, changing the family structure, engaging in more family activities than before. But at the same time, your inner world is where the light is being thrown. You will be shown your security, your foundations, your inner life, where the gaps are at this stage, because you are in that phase. You are in the phase of analyzing what needs to be fixed. So you will see where you're not feeling secure, where you need to have more faith and more confidence in your personal life, in your foundations at this stage. Even what thought processes, your upbringing, and most of these ideas come from our parents. What were we told we could or could not become? And then a new phase, a new ideology in that begins. Because you're going into a phase in your life where maybe the old ideology does not serve you well. So there could be a cutting of the cord as well over here from the past inner life, from the past way of being. As I said, throughout the time from April till January of 2020, this Pluto Saturn cutting cord with what's dysfunctional in your life, what has outdated, what has served its purpose, will happen in every area of your life. So at this point in time as well, and this will happen a little bit later than 5th of April, because first is just the impetus to do something new, to have more security, to have more safety, to have a stronger foundation in your life. Then the test of Saturn and Pluto will come around 10th of April and 13th of April, when Sun will meet Saturn, and then Sun will meet Pluto on 13th of April. That is when you realize that something has served its purpose, which might be part of your upbringing previously, which might have been the way you're brought up, and it does not serve you well anymore. There's something in your inner life, in your family structure, that needs to be changed for your full career achievement, for your full public recognition to come through. And you realize that through certain even conflicts to some extent, maybe a little bit of tension as well between what you have and what you want around 10th or 13th of April. But this is a positive conflict. This is a conflict which leads you to the position where you want to get. And this is happening again between 20 to 23 degree. The degrees who are most affected through the Sun-Pluto combination that I spoke about, who are about to change their life completely, 20 to 23 degrees especially. That is, I believe, around 10th to 13th or 14th of January born. They will experience that challenge from an authority figure in their family or overall family life. What we want to do new in our home and family life, how does that sit with our career? Are we letting these two support each other, our personal life and our career? How do we bring these two together? What do we need to overcome in our personal issue, in our personal life, in our inner world, in our conviction on ourselves, in our security area, to become more impactful in our career? That comes out around 10th of April to 13th of April. 11th to 13th could be a few days of a little bit of tension. So be ready for that around 11th to 13th when all of these things are happening. But at the same time, your mind and your heart will support you. You have a conviction within you, which is highlighted by Mercury and Venus sitting in your house of communication. You'll be able to voice your conviction. You'll be able to reconcile these differences. You'll be able to make your mind up about where you want to go. Because on 7th of April, Mercury is meeting Saturn. You have the discipline to incorporate the new mindset that you have, both in your professional life and in your personal life. This conviction, you'll be very, very vocal this month, especially till 20th of April. And you'll feel this conviction within your heart that you can do what you want to do. So 7th of April is a good day to have a practical discussion, both in your professional life as well as in your personal life, but especially in your professional life, in your commercial life, making a presentation to a client, making a presentation to an authority figure, having a solid discussion with an authority figure about your role. 7th of April is a good day to do that. 10th of April is when you might close something. Again, these are very powerful energies from a communication perspective. You will be very, very impactful. But try to use the Mercury in Pisces approach, which I spoke about last month. Use the emotions here. Utilize these softer skills versus the numbers, versus the hard facts. It doesn't mean that we are fudging the facts, but emotions have more impact when you voice them right now. The softer side has more impact right now. 7th and 8th overall are great days for you. They are very solid. You'll feel very supported on 7th or 8th of April. And then around 9th or 10th of April, I feel something comes through. Something comes through in form of a messaging, maybe a commercial success of some sort, which fires up this ambition, which fires up your belief in yourself. And that continues into you handling the feedback and the conflicts that are coming around 10th of April and 13th of April. You will be able to overcome them. And at the same time, as I said, take in the inputs that are coming. Maybe there are certain inputs that do need to be incorporated into your approach. So taking that in. 15th of April is a day when I want you to be a little bit careful in terms of what you commit, because out of all of this a lot of positivity, a lot of optimism will come through. A lot of success will come through as well, especially around 14th of April. But you want to be careful in terms of overcommitting something, especially commercially. At this point in time, I want you to be careful on 15th and a few days ahead of that of overcommitting something commercially. We're just coming out of a phase when Mercury was retrograde last month, so we've tried to handle our emotional impulses when it comes to commercial decisions. We have tried to learn the lesson of that. But at this point in time, you'll be tested, in my view, of are you overcommitting, when at this point in time, stay a little bit conservative on the commercial commitment, especially around 15th of April. So this is the new moon and the days that are following that. It's beautiful new start. What's happening on 17th of April, Mercury will move into your house of home and family. So things that are coming out, the new start that you're getting into your home and family, it will find positivity. It might come with a little bit of resistance towards the first half of the month, but after 20th of the month, you'll feel it is more supported. In fact, from 20th of the month, you'll feel overall more supported, because the sun supports you and then Venus moves into your home and family sector. You'll feel more supported after 20th of the month, and the focus will also move into bringing more joy in your life, bringing more happiness in your life, bringing more excitement and passion into your life. But just before that happens, on 18th or 19th of April, we have Moon and Libra, which will be in conflict with you. So just be careful on 18th or 19th. The emotions could be high. That is also the time on 19th of April when we have a full moon happening in Libra. This is again a second full moon, which is happening in your house of career. Some phase of your career is coming to a culmination. Your leadership style is coming into focus. You are being noticed at this point in time. And that happened towards the end of March as well. You were put more in the light, more in the focus. Your career comes more into focus at this point in time, but at the same time, a re-evaluation of the career also is happening. You're looking at the success or the progress that you're getting right now, which can be great. Maybe some 6-month-old project is coming to a culmination, because this is happening at 29 degree, which is like culmination of something happening. Maybe a project is coming to an end, but your career path overall comes into focus here. You will be promoting yourself, put yourself out there, but at the same time, you will start thinking about a new direction, a new way of being at this point in time. Because you're looking at Sun and Uranus right now sitting together, so there's a little bit of surprise turn of emotions which are coming with this full moon on 19th of April. Especially around 22nd of April, you'll feel that there is a new passion coming into your life, a new risk capacity which is being formed in your life. You have Uranus sitting in your house of passion. You're being woken up to some latent passion in your life. And then you look at what you have right now, what is being highlighted as your current path, and you decide whether it is fulfilling you or not, whether it is in line with what you want to do in longer run or not. And this is also the time when Pluto is standing still. So you're feeling very much within your soul that you need to deliver something of impact. And you look at what's being completed right now. You understand your deeper cravings at this point in time and figure out the difference between what you want and what you asked for previously. And you see whether life is delivering to you what you asked for or not. So there's a fulfillment, a culmination of sort which happens at the end of the month, maybe a career opportunity even coming to conclusion at this stage, especially if your planet's around 29 degree of Capricorn, which is around 19th of January born. There might be some sort of culmination coming through on something that you've been working on over the last 6 months. But at the same time, there is a restlessness being presented to you within your soul, asking you whether this is your true identity, whether this is the path that you asked for or not. And you sort of have this conviction right now that you do not want to do anything other than what your true purpose is. because you're creating something for longer run. So short-term success may not be enough to satisfy you. You're looking at a philosophical level whether this is what the ultimate is. And then that begins Saturn's influence. So the gap in our current path, we are being shown where the gap is, and what I spoke about in the Saturn-Pluto combination. Saturn becomes very strong right now, and we start being shown whether we are on the right path or not, and what in our current path needs to be released. It could be a career, it could be a way of being in a career, it could be a behavioral pattern that we display which is not in line with our leadership ambition. All of that starts coming into focus towards the end of the month. And even though Sun is supporting you, but it's also waking you up to your desires. It is waking you up to your passions. It is telling you whether the current situation you are in, whether that fulfills you or not. And this is also the point when the external planets and the social planets will go retrograde, which means that you're left with that thought, with that external impetus, but then you're left to your own devices to absorb this, figure out what is the new thing you want to create. Creating the new rule of the game will happen from now all the way till July, when you create the rules yourself without social influences as well as external stress. I like that in the sense when Pluto dials down in May, I like it from the perspective that the stress of the external events dies off. So you're left to your own devices to figure out how do you want to incorporate the things that have been shown to you in your life. The date to be a little bit careful of is 27th of April. So Mars is in your house of health this month, whole of this month. I want you to be a little bit careful about heat, about inflammation in the body, about fever to some extent, or throat infections. And around 26th or 27th of the April, I feel your health might feel a little bit weak, which I want you to be careful about. Just getting mild fevers and sorts. Just take something which does not, if there's inflammation in the body, just have more green juices or have more green things, salads, something which cools the system down a little bit. So just be careful around that time, around 27th of April, a few days before that. But 24th, 25th, 26th of the month, you'll feel a reset with Capricorn moon, which is happening on 24th, 25th, 26th. You're absorbing what is coming and you're getting ready to prepare. You feel a conviction within yourself that I'm ready to turn a leaf. And that is a beautiful thing to feel. This will continue, carry you through till July, when we have the next set of eclipses and we see certain physical manifestation of all the work you'll be doing from now all the way to July. So this is a groundbreaking moment in history of our life. And as the sign who's at the forefront of it all, good luck for that. And I have full faith that you are the leader of our generation, and I salute you for that. Good luck for this month and what's coming ahead of yourself. Let me know how things are in your life. Do share what's happening with you. It is one of the things that I want to do more as a part of the site, which is to share what's happening in our life, because we are each other's support system as it happens in the journey that we are all in, especially the cardinal sign, and I'm one of them. I have my sun at 24 degrees, so being in the thick of the things right together. So do share how the month is for you and how things are going. Good luck, and I'll see you in May now. Thank you.